Now here verse 91. So this estimation is a morality study. Practice means how to have a good conduct, manner, physically, mentally, So here 91 says, when you spit and throw away, your throw away, and then also your toothpicks, you should cover them. Means don't throw it here and there. Just find a good place where it should be, and just don't make it dirty. Clean up, cover it, cover them. And it is wrong to fool with the urine and with other filths, to fill and water fit for public use. Don't urinate here and there, and don't use other place, especially with the people use. So it should be kept well. So you see, environment is taken care of from the Buddha. See, everything, be clean. So, don't make mess, public use. So take care of your environment. And 92, so these are not so much, there's no need so much explanation. You see. When eating, do not gobble noise. Just don't make so much noise when you eat, and nor stop and cram your gaping mouth. So when you eat, don't open so wide your mouth. So sometimes when you are so hungry, maybe you make the mouth open widely, and then making a lot of noise. Is not good in the public. See, this is all Vinaya, So say everybody needs this, not just monks and nuns alone. And do not sit with legs outstretched, nor coarsely rub your hands together, like showing your strength, like those things. It's kind of like arrogance. And do not sit or stay alone with the woman or the man, of another house. And all that you have seen or have been told. So this look at in the country where you are, which makes not good for the public appearance. So it's just get to accustomed where you are in the country, where the place, So then, according to that system of the country place, so you behave carefully, beautifully, So it's told to be a cause of scandal that you should avoid. So Dharma study practices to bring peace, harmony. As I mentioned, it's not a religion. You have to believe, but you have to do things what's right, and avoid what's wrong. So that's what is generally, for example, 10 virtues. Everywhere, any country, any religion, they believe that almost all the 10 virtues appreciate it. 10 non-virtues, look at everywhere, are not so appreciated. See, so look at these things, study those, and then in your mind, bring the kind of purity of your mind, kindness, being a good example to the people. That's what it's saying. Then 94 and 95, when somebody asks which road is the right direction, or which house, I want to go such in a house, which is the right house or road, At that time said, not rudely pointing your finger to the individual, just the road you take, not such kind of way, So, but rather with a reverent gesture showing this is the way to go. This house is the such house, like that. With the whole right hand outstretched. This is how to indicate the road or the house. Do not wave your arms with an uncalled gesture. This is strong. So, got here like this. Express yourself instead with the unobtrusive signs, with gentle sound and fingers snap or like So somebody said that they are not hearing like this, So this is the road you take. And fourth, acting otherwise is impolite excess. You should not make some kind of impolite gesture, rather respectful, generally. So that person says, oh, that's a very kind person. So what that does is you are not expecting anything, but that will make other person's mind more peace, more joy. If you just would kind of say implied like that, even though a person may not say anything, but in the mind there's some bad feeling. That bad feeling also creates negative karma, because you make the condition. You made the condition. Sometimes we may say, I don't care what that person think about me. We may have that kind of in our mind, but that person made a negative karma because of me. So, that person is making negative karma, and I made the condition, so I'm also part of that. So this all is good how to make a manner. Just a kind person, helpful, like this. And 96 said, lay down to sleep in the preferred direction, in the direction in the posture of Buddha when he passed into nirvana. And first, with the vigilance, decide that you will be quick to rise again. So when you go to bed, sleep, sleep on your right side. And if possible, face your head to the north. North is good, And one of these writings in the Gyaltshen Rinpoche said, if you sleep on the left, there's a kind of way maybe cause you anger arise. If you sleep at the back, may cause to rise desire. If you sleep in the front with your chest, may cause to rise ignorance. So on the right side is the kind of thing that should be sleep on the right. Nowadays, see, there's some the medical so they're checking, Now they find out they don't know still, of course, sleep on the front or back. But what they said is your heart is more on the left, So if you sleep on the left, you weight your whole weight on the right and press the heart. So the heart cannot beat freely. So that causes anger or depression, So when you sleep on the right, the heart beats freely. So see, all Buddha's teaching is very scientific. Where you walk, where you sleep, where you eat, everything you see related to your bodies, channel, chakras, all this system. So like that is, you see. Then you say when you go to sleep, just go with the mindfulness, not just doom in the darkness. Rather, I will wake up from this in the morning clearly with a pure mind and go to bed with the thinking of Buddha or compassion, bodhicitta, So that your whole sleep would be virtuous sleep. Sleep is neither good nor bad. It's just sleep, But it makes a difference what kind of motivation you have. So with the mindfulness of bodhicitta, compassion of the all sentient beings, go that, and the whole your sleep becomes part of that practice. Then in 97, the action of the Bodhisattva are unbounded, means limitless. So the teachings say, of these, until the goal is won, embrace the practices that purify your mind. See, Bodhisattva's action or conduct or practice are countless. Means since there's infinite sentient beings, so to benefit all sentient beings. Since Buddha has the limitless qualities, is to achieve the Buddhahood. So for all this, because of this, the Bodhisattva's training is limitless. So see that nature, and then you just practice accordingly what you can, step by step, see, until you accomplish or perfect that practice. So all is training of the mind. Train the mind, make your mind workable, flexible, in the state of the wisdom and compassion. It's not being weak, but instead it's how to build the strength, courage. See, so this is how, so basically, in a brief, Bodhisattva's training. Now 98 verse, reciting thrice by day and thrice by night in the evening. The sutra in 3 sections. This is the name of the sutra. 35 Buddha practice. Three sections, there's a different commentators made it really different. One I saw here is purification, and then rejoicing, I think, and then the dedication. And some other texts I saw is the pay homage or prostration to 35 Buddha, and then purification and dedication. So these three. With this, rely on the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. When you do this practice, you visualize all the 35 Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, above in the space, and you say, you chant this prayer. So purify the rest of your transgressions if we made any negative karma, made mistakes. So rely on these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, then to purify from your heart. So it is in the morning, in the evening. If you cannot say 3 times, but at least like once a day, in the morning or in the evening. This is very helpful. And then 99, wherever means the place, wherever you are, in Malaysia or Nepal or US or anywhere, wherever, and whenever the time, in the morning, noon, evening, anytime, whatever what you are doing, like driving or writing, cooking, whatever you do, whatever you are doing, for your sake or for the sake of others, for your own benefit you are doing, for others' benefit you are doing. Implement with the diligence. Always take the opportunity, like a bodhicitta. If you are cooking for yourself, but still you can practice bodhicitta. If you are driving yourself, still you can practice bodhicitta. So it says, don't limit yourself. It's saying, take all opportunities. So, see, implement with diligence the teachings given for that situation. Whatever you're doing, whether you're eating, by yourself, with others. So once Bodhicharyavatara said, I can practice while I'm walking. I can practice while I'm sleeping. I wish everyone has this. So this is a very important point we should keep in the mind. Sometimes we may say, I have no time to practice. I'm so busy doing this and that, But he is saying, every time you have the time, opportunity to practice. See, what we need is mindfulness. We need how Dhamma is so precious. Bodhicitta is so precious. As mentioned, it's not a religious training. It's your mind training. Means bring your mind in the wisdom, the compassionate state. Make your mind a source of peace and happiness, not a source of suffering. Suffering doesn't come from anywhere, or happiness would not come from anywhere. Don't wish somebody will give you the happiness, but we should take the responsibility that I am the one who makes myself friend or enemy. And in bodhicitta, here what we have, the combination of wisdom and compassion is the special tool that I should exercise. I have total kind of freedom to do this. Nobody can take this away. So say, this is, I think, very good advice. As mentioned this morning, it's mind training. Then 100 verse. So there is indeed no field of knowledge that the Buddha's offspring should not learn. See, means all the Bodhisattvas should have great scholarship. They should learn all the aspects of knowledge that exists. Education. In the past, they are saying that there are 5 great objects of knowledge. Say the medicine, the art, creative art, like the engineering, constructions, and then there is the validity of the validity of the objects as knowledge, and language skill, just 4, and then especially the Buddha's teaching. These are all objects of knowledge. Then say way of melodies, dramas, it's called this mathematics, science, all this. So Bodhisattva should have those all knowledge. More you have, better chance for you to understand and then to give others those benefits. And then, because when you become Buddha, you have to know everything. There, how you cook in the kitchen and how you achieve enlightenment. You should have those all skills. So then there's no any limit that you can benefit the sentient beings. See? That's why I say Buddha's teaching is the, if you treat it as a religion, it's a religion of education. See? So it's amazing, So even that time, Buddha himself said, you should learn. Because I don't know, if you say that doesn't help to solve your problem. We have to have a wisdom to solve the problem. The ignorance cannot solve the problem. That will not help you to free from suffering, basically. So see, for those who are well versed in all these ways, all these objects of knowledge, there's no action destitute of merit. It is very good, There's no action destitute of merit. You can transform everything into the enlightened state. All knowledge, wisdom you have, that you can carry on into the path towards enlightenment on the basis of bodhicitta. See, this is amazing. So Buddhists should be very wise, scholarly, learned, gentle person. Then you can help very many people. Then 101, directly then or indirectly, do nothing that is not for others' sake, and solely for their welfare dedicate your every action, your every action to gaining of enlightenment. So see, since this is the mind training, especially Bodhisattva's mind, or bodhicitta, so we're training step by step to the benefit of all sentient beings. And you can say all the sentient beings are infinite, countless. So look at this. I'm just one person, and sentient beings are countless. So I'm so fortunate. Having met this kind of precious teaching, that for the welfare of all the sentient beings, now I'm studying, practicing these Dharma teachings. So it doesn't matter what kind of actions you have, but your mind is always for others' benefit. So saying here, directly then or indirectly, whatever you do, but do for the benefit of others. So do nothing that is not for others' sake. If you're driving, I'm driving for the enlightenment of all sentient beings. When you're cooking, I'm cooking for the benefit of all sentient beings. See? So like that, then if you're helping your brother or sister, I'm doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings. Your mother or your children. So your children is next to you, which represents all sentient beings. So I'm helping these children, which is part of all sentient beings. As my child needs help, so all sentient beings need help. So this is my training for all sentient beings' benefit. See, so such a, as earlier mentioned, there's no limit if we have a skill, wisdom, So like this, you see. And then, and solely for their welfare, dedicate your every action to the gaining of enlightenment. Then whatever you did, you just dedicate for the enlightenment of all sentient beings. So I dedicate this virtue. Then slowly you can do better and better, more others. See, first you to start with simple, whatever you can. Don't feel, I cannot do enough or so much. But you do wherever you are, whatever you are doing, as earlier mentioned, and do for others' benefit and dedicate. So dedication is very important. Because most time we dedicate for this life's benefit. We do things for this life's benefit, and we dedicate for this life's benefit. When you go to temple, make a candle offering. So may I have a long life, may I not get sick, or may my work, my job get better, We dedicate that much, and it's so limited. Instead, you make one candle offering or one stick of incense. So by this virtue, may every sentient being free from suffering. May everyone achieve enlightenment. So the merit you got from this incense, one incense offering, you could multiply, limitless. So that's what is encouraging here, you see. Then verse 102, this verse has different translations. Here what we have is never at the cost of life or limb forsake your virtuous friend, your teacher. Learn in the doctrine of the Mahayana, supreme in Bodhisattva discipline. So this is easy to understand. So never give up your spiritual master, who taught you, especially bodhicitta and the bodhicitta practices. And you should be very skillful or wise in the training, study and the training of the Mahayana teachings, particularly the discipline. So that's kind of. Now there's another translation. This is a translation is done according to a commentary by one teacher. Now another translation is there, which is we quoted in the Jewel Ornament of Liberation at the quality of the spiritual master. Here in that book they said, a spiritual master is always expert in the Mahayana teachings. The quality, at least the spiritual master, the Mahayana Bodhisattva, at least that individual should be well versed in the study of the Mahayana Sutras. Then he or she will not abandon the Bodhisattva's vow, even at the risk of his or her own life. So never give up Bodhisattva's vow. So that is the spiritual master, the quality. So there's two different translations in English. We have that. Okay. Then the 103, learn how to attend upon your guru or teacher, as described in Shri Sambhava's life. This and other teachings of the Buddha, we should understand by reading in the sutra. So this now looks like, when you look at this, the other 102 is things related well. First, so what kind of quality of the spiritual master, and then how to attend the teachings from that teachers. So in this text, basically mentioned in the Jewel Ornament of Liberation, as just earlier mentioned, we should see that authentic spiritual master as a doctor, physician, and his or her teaching as the medicine, instruction, and we are as like a patient, and listening to the teaching is now bringing the remedy of our the confusion or our limited mind nature. So with this kind of, you should attend the teacher. So more detail, read the sutra. And then next 104, indeed within these sutras all the practices are found, therefore read and study them. So read those sutras, great Mahayana sutras, read and study them, so to free from our limitation. From these different sutras, so the sutra of the essence of the sky that you can read first, so is the text that should be studied first. Now the Shantideva follows especially this sutra in the Jewel Ornament of Liberation. In the perfection of the discipline, Shila described according to the Shantideva's, the 5 root downfall, connect to the king more, and 5 to the minister, 8 to the ordinary, those mostly according to the sutras, according to the Sutra of the essence of the sky. Yes. And then read other sutras. And next two verses, the 105 and 6, Shantideva's suggestions, different texts to read. I don't know if they are translated or not. So 105, all that must be practiced constantly is clearly and extensively explained within the digest of all discipline is one of the texts written by Shantideva himself. Is this so? This is something you should read repeatedly if there is translation. Next, also he and Nagarjuna written 106. From time to time, for the sake of brevity, consult the digest of the sutra is one different text. And those two works pursued with the diligence that noble Nagarjuna has composed. And then 107, whatever in these work is not prescribed, be sure to undertake and implement. And what you find enjoined there perfectly fulfilled, and so protect the minds of worldly beings. So it's not prescribed means that which is not prescribed means all the which is prescribed. So study them, practice them, also accordingly, and then be sure to undertake and implement. Means training ourselves, our mind, whatever you can. And what you find enjoined, they are perfectly fulfilled, and so protect the mind of worldly beings. And first, you protect your mind, all what you can, step by step, slowly, slowly. And that's our kind of main goal. With this, then don't make others' mind. Say, all these practitioners, so they call they are practitioner, but they are so bad. So making our mind something unhappy, this is not healthy. If you cannot help, the Buddha's teaching said, if you cannot help, don't harm others. See, this two are very important. If you can help, but at least don't harm others. So here, recommending that kind of practice. 108, examine again and yet again the state and action of your body and your mind. This alone defines in brief the maintenance of watchful introspection, mindfulness. Here discipline means, in a brief, in a nutshell, saying, anywhere, everywhere, all the time, just be mindful of your body and the mind. So this is what it means, the practice of this introspection or mindfulness, vigilance. Don't be too uptight, basically. Just relax. And then just look for your mind. If it isn't going the wrong direction, simply just bring back and maintain the peace, the wisdom, the Buddha. So that's what's called practice. See? So practice is what here, as earlier mentioned, so important. But to do the practice, first we have to understand, for some extent, what you understood, then we put into practice. To put into practice is this, physically what we are doing, verbally what we are saying, mentally what our mind is. Just bring all this together, organize in the right place, and then anywhere, everywhere, your life will be just fine, peaceful, always peace. Even there's some chaos there, you have such kind of wisdom how to relate to this. Basically, we're in the samsara. We cannot expect all the time perfect. There will have a lot of confusion, dilemmas, and sometimes very difficult situation. So during those times, just bring your mindfulness. So samsara is nature of suffering. Everything's state of impermanence. Everything's changing. So within this, we just accept and then see what we can do the best, how to handle, how to manage. So this is the practice, you see. Now, at the time, now when you go to sleep, when there's difficult time, when we're aging, when we're getting sick, and finally when you're going to die. So that's the Dharma practice we need. As I mentioned, it's not a religion training, what you believe, but it is how to maintain your life in such a peaceful way. That's the Dharma, the beauty of the Dharma that we need in all time. See. Now the last line, I think we should make this before we make break, 109. But all this must be acted out in truth. For what is to be gained by mouthing syllables? What invalid was ever helped by merely reading in the doctor's treatise? What he's saying here actually, now, saying, thus we should act accordingly. What is described, explained. No. Without that acting, what's the benefit of all the reading this whole text? It's very practical, you see. Like so we can chant mantra, hundreds of thousands of, but if you don't put practice, it doesn't help. So say, act accordingly, what is described. Otherwise, what's the benefit is that just mouthing, reading all this text. So example is giving, you see. By reading the doctor's prescription, this will help, this will help. This. If you got a bile, a bile sickness, then these are the medicine, this helps it to cure the. By reading those texts, the patient will get benefit? No, cannot. So what the patient needs? Medicine. Whatever medicine is needed, give to the patient. The patient will get benefit. Will not get benefit by reading all the treatises or writings of the doctor, or prescribed in the text. So this is really so good, you see. Dharma practice, as I mentioned, is not a religion. It's not changing your religion, but it's how to help to yourself and how to help others. So this is we need to have that kind of wisdom. We need help so much because in the samsara is as mentioned this morning, all our mental afflictions, they are the chemical of the mind. No? And that chemical of the mind, just bring you so much different types of suffering. Even Dharma practitioners, when we don't know what Dharma practice is about, Dharma becomes a garbage to bring suffering into your life. So we need a Dharma study, practice, how to solve that kind of confusion. Sometimes we study, debate, and then investigate, and this what Buddha proves, this great scholar proves, and no application. Didn't teach us how to practice them. Instead, just only to study. So here, Shantideva says, if you don't practice them, then it's just a garbage, another. So whatever you know, make it happen. How to practice, apply. Apply means look at our mind. What are the causes of suffering that keeps you in the mind? Like say anger, attachment, pride, jealousy. When they are there, how much suffering is given to us? No? They looks like just helping you. No? Somebody is doing something bad to you, so then you are so angry. So that anger destroys, that attachment destroys your peace of mind. So that all try to purify. Then, what really helps us is wisdom, compassion, loving kindness. That will really bring the peace. As I mentioned, we need a skill how to handle this. It can be very delicate. It can be, kind of confuse ourselves when we don't know how to practice Dharma. So it takes a lot of time and experience. So step by step, so we should, we should really understand how to practice. So it's so precious, so that in chapter 5, then we make it break. Om Banjo Sato Samaya, Mano Palaya, Banjo Sato Tenova, Yisade Membawa, Subukayo Membawa, Subukayo Membawa,
Anuratu Mitawa,
Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Sutame, Chetan Shreya, Guru Hum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan, Sarva Tata Bhagavan, Mantramane, Bhava Ma Samaya Sadhu. Okay, please break.